Good evening, or I guess it's nighttime now. Everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Speculating Disney Parks. I'm Sam, the nostalgic Disney fan, and here with me, as always, is Porter, the newer Disney fan. And today we're going to be talking about Fantasyland, or I guess old Fantasyland, from the Magic Tea or the spinning teacups, Magic Teacups, over to It's a Small World. So let me share my screen here. Porter, do you have any speculation in the news before we start this journey through old Fantasyland?
Let's see. I don't remember seeing anything of note in the news, but Taylor did want me to pass on that there is a uh, Disneyland exhibit at the National Smithsonian of American History.
He sent me that earlier today.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember what the official title for that museum is, but
It's like somebody it's the picture that she had sent. I want to say it was like pictures that people had taken at Disneyland, like family photos from over the years, which
right.
actually does sound pretty cool. So whenever we're all out there next, we definitely got to go see that.
Yeah, and anybody listening to this that might be in the DC area, be sure to check it out.
Most definitely. All right, I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. Okay, you should see the map of the Magic Kingdom.
Indeed, we do.
Awesome. So let's zoom in. Oh, okay. I can't really do everything I want to do. All right. So we'll start down at the intersection of Tomorrowland. Keep in mind that when we speculate whether or not these rides are safe, we're talking about within the next 10 years. Starting with Mad Tea Party. That's the official name of the ride. I think this ride is definitely safe. It's a classic. It's one that you see in commercials a lot. I don't see Disney changing this at all. I think, and I will never ride it again. I hate spinning rides. I get sick every time I ride it. But there's those sadistic people that love torturing their family in, the spinning teacups. And there's everybody who has to try it because it's like one of those essential Disney rides like Dumbo.
It is
But
essential.
overall, pretty safe.
Yeah, it's staying right next to the Cheshire Cat tail stall. That thing
That's
better
right.
not ever go away. Honorable mention to the quick service places, I guess. That would be considered a quick service.
I believe so. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, delicious though. And drizzled with purple and pink.
That sounds good.
Can't pass that up.
Number 49, next on the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Porter, let's start a new pattern here where we alternate. You start first on this one.
Yeah, I was looking at this list earlier and I was thinking that if anything was gonna get the axe, it might be this attraction. I, I really even hesitate to say that, but just for the sake of considering, what if Disney were to make a move in this area of the park? Which one would they go after? I just think it's one of the more lower ends on the tech and amazement end of things. The attraction is really just made up of moving figures and opening doors and bright neon paint.
That's like the theme of a lot of these old Fantasyland rides, which we'll talk about some of them later. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely one of them. That I mean, it's. Were you finished with yours or?
Um, no, I was just gonna wrap up by saying that like just given that it might not be so impressive to young kids anymore. They might not be engaged with that. I could see them at least revisiting the idea of this attraction.
I think
But it is safe.
I think it's definitely safe because Pooh is, Winnie the Pooh and all those characters are some of the most merchandise characters throughout Disney. I've noticed Tigger is on a lot of stuff. So is Pooh. So is Eeyore. They go crazy with the merchandise on that. And even a lot of Facebook memes too, I've noticed. But
They had
it's
that
too
cute Ewan
popular to
McGregor film
retheme,
too.
but sorry.
They had that cute Ewan McGregor film too.
That too. That was a great movie.
Well, that was called Christopher Robin, right?
Correct. And Pooh pops out and goes, General Kenobi. And then he has four. I wish that would have been awesome. But anyways, uh, I think this ride's definitely safe, but it could use a technology overhaul because, like, I can remember kids on hearing all the kids screaming after the which ride was it? Guardians of the Galaxy. That was awesome. And then, they may go ride something like this and they might, they may see the characters, but I know it's a different kind of ride. That's probably not a good comparison, but you get what I mean in terms of technology.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously, like
absolutely.
this is another one of those. It's for the kids. It may not wow everybody with the technology, but maybe someday it'll get updated. I could see it getting a tech overhaul in the future.
Yeah,
So next, those are restaurants. Princess Fairy Tale Hall at number 51. I think this is I think this is safe just because originally New Fantasyland was going to consist of more meet and greets until Disney realized that attractions are probably going to be more popular than meet and greets. So I think they're still going to keep it because, kids love meeting the Disney princesses. That's one of the places where you can meet Tiana. And I know there's several other princesses as well. I can't name them off the top of my head, but that's part of the Disney magic is meeting these characters. So I think characters, obviously that'll change depending on how successful new movies are, but the what it is now, it's safe.
yeah,
Okay, moving on to let's see. Okay, number 41, which is Prince Charming's, I believe, I want to get the name right. Prince Charming's Regal Carousel.
yeah. This one is also safe. You know, it's hard to imagine that Disney would even touch any of this. I think we kind of touched on this last time, but this area, I think the carousel specifically just got itself refurbished not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Just a couple of years ago, it reopened.
It might have been one of those pandemic refurbishments like the People Mover.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
really remember though, because I know People Mover like invaded TikTok when everybody was wondering why it wasn't reopened yet. But Regal Carousel has not gotten the same cult following. What's up with that TikTok?
just a carousel.
The
But
one
you
thing
know,
I mean, Prince Charming obviously makes sense given it's right next to Cinderella's castle, but
mhm,
maybe this is an idea for the England pavilion. But it would be cool if it was Mary Poppins because, obviously the carousel and the horse race and all that. But that's probably better for Epcot than it is Magic Kingdom. But if they do another carousel, Mary Poppins would be perfect.
agreed. Uh, yeah, I love the way the carousel looks. Like if you're viewing the castle head on, from the
Mm-hmm.
front, especially at night when all the lights are on. Um, it's real good Imagineering there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Moving on to next on our list is Mickey's PhilHarm Magic. I think this one is definitely safe. It's one of those shows that, excuse me, as we saw with the Coco edition, they could honestly just keep updating it with new and popular films. So
Yeah,
I really don't think that. I mean, I want to say it's the only 3D show in the Magic Kingdom. I think it is, but those 3D shows are so much fun, and
yeah,
I don't see them replacing it with anything in the next 10 years. I think that one's going to be okay.
yeah. I think so too. I mean, especially what with them just adding the Coco portion to the end. I think Coco is going to be relevant for several years still. People are going to be talking about that film. I think it was a really enduring film, and Disney could afford to do a lot with that. So I'm glad they added it in to fill our magic. And yeah, with that, I think they will keep it around.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those easy to update attractions.
Yeah.
Next, oh, this is one that we have talked about a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you listening might agree with this as well. Peter Pan's Flight.
Mm, this is a toughie. It's okay. Let's just start with the obvious. This ride is in need of serious refurbishment.
Amen.
Like, what's with the animatronics? You know, half of them are just waving just one arm, and their mouths aren't moving. I mean, they're barely animatronics at that point. They're just statues with moving parts.
I think a lot of that technology, though, it just seems like that's the way it was. Like from its opening day, I remember Snow
Yeah,
White's Scary Adventures was kind of the same way. The animatronics really didn't move all that much. Now, the evil queen would turn around and give children, nightmares for years. Me being one of them. I know I'm not the only one, but you know, the fact that they didn't move was always kind of weird. I mean, granted, they had to work with the technology of the time, but I think that I don't really think anybody wants to look at, like we have YouTube to look at this stuff. I don't think anybody really cares to see, Wendy going, "Oh, Peter, look out!" And she's like barely moving. It's
exactly.
like we've all seen what they've done internationally with this ride. The amazing stuff they've been able to do. It's like, please do something about that
Bring
for
that
Peter
to
Pan's
Orlando.
Flight, and maybe do something with the queue that's similar to Dumbo's Flight. I know it's a compact area, but I have
Yeah.
never enjoyed waiting in that line. It's such a I don't know. It's just such a compact area that I don't enjoy it.
I wonder if there's a way to make that queue a bit more efficient. I've never actually been in the standby
Really,
queue for this one. Yeah, I've only done the fast pass, but yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do to this ride eventually. I think they'll probably stay mostly the same for the next decade at least, but I mean, they're gonna have to do something with it at some point.
the one thing that I wonder, and the people talk about with Disney a lot, is when a huge attraction opens, they'll often close down something popular for or a previously popular ride for an extended period of time for a grand refurbishment.
Mhm.
Part of me wonders when Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens, I wonder if they would possibly think about closing down Peter Pan's Flight for a big refurbishment like we've talked about. I mean, the technology really needs updated. Maybe they don't necessarily want to put the funding through for that
Yeah,
right away, but I don't know. It's just, Disney's done it quite a bit with, trying to refurbish rides while something popular is open and then close something else. That way they can draw the crowds away. Maybe it's time to do that for Peter Pan's Flight.
yeah. I wonder. That's a good point. So Tron is opening now that Splash Mountain is closed and is undergoing refurbishment.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they're going to close something else down for refurbishment once the Princess Tiana attraction opens.
I am really curious now
Mm.
what
If you,
ride is in the need of
yeah,
most help.
if you could pick one attraction to do that to, which one would you pick?
Yes. Let us know in the comments. I'm going to post this as our preview on my Instagram page, trader.sam.eagle. If you could pick one ride for a grand refurbishment right after they open Tiana's Bayou Adventure in late 2024, what would it be? So moving on to the final attraction here in Fantasyland, It's a Small World. Boy, am I conflicted about this ride. I think it's safe because it's a Disney classic, but
Yeah.
I think there could be a lot of updates coming. I did hear, I don't know if it was in Disney World or Disneyland, but I did hear that there was a new doll added that was playing instruments and it was in a wheelchair. So increasing
Yeah,
representation, which is pretty cool to see from Disney. So
yeah,
it's one of those that maybe like Philhar Magic, you can update it for the time, so to speak.
yeah, absolutely. I I think it's staying where it's at. It's in a good spot, um, and tourists who come for the Disney experience, Small World has to be a part of that. So you want to give that to visitors of both the Orlando and the Anaheim parks.
Exactly. I think that one, I mean, it could see some serious changes, but I think for the most part, it's going to be safe in the next 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that is speculating old Fantasyland. Stay and join us if you'd like as we go through our top five ranking for the week. Is going to be our top five table service restaurants. Porter, would you like to start us
Mm,
off?
sure. Number five, and this one I feel like has been drawing a little bit of hate recently, um, and I haven't been there in a little bit, so maybe they've gone down in value. But my number five is the Be Our Guest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. Um, gotta love the atmosphere, even just like walking up to it at nighttime, and it's all lit up, and you check in with the people at the booth, and then cross the bridge, you know, towards the castle, and just the whole experience from the minute you walk up to check in, from the minute you check out to taking pictures with Beast and stuff like that. Um, I always love that experience. Sitting in the West Wing with the thunder and like crackling. It's just a fun place to be.
So why
Plus,
thank you. Why is this ride receiving or a ride? Why is this restaurant receiving hate though?
oh, just in like quality, I believe.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm. It was fine last time
like
we
maybe
went.
the food quality has gone
Huh. Weird.
down.
Hmm. Okay then. Well, my number five is Cinderella's Royal Table.
Yeah, nice.
If you ever get the chance to go to Cinderella's Royal Table and you can afford it, take it. It is a it's such a cool experience getting to sit in this, inside this landmark that people travel from all over the world to see, and you're sitting in there eating a meal and you have a great view of Fantasyland. It's probably one of the coolest experiences that we've ever done at Disney. It would be higher on the list, but as I said, it is expensive. We had brunch there, and it was $72 a plate. That is very
Yeah,
expensive, but totally worth it. And that covers like the entire meal, the desserts, the however I forget how many courses it was. It was really
yeah.
good
They
though.
they bring you bread and or like the breakfast rolls or whatever it was.
Yeah. Starting to
Um,
come back to me now.
yeah, yeah. And then you place your order. You pick from like a menu. Yeah, it was. I think it was a pretty cool experience.
Oh,
I feel like
definitely.
I was expecting a bit more of a view of Fantasyland. I'll be honest on that, but hey, you know what? It's freaking Magic Kingdom. I'm not gonna complain about not having a view. It was cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, number four,
Mm-hmm.
Chef Art Smith's Homecoming restaurant. Remember
Oh,
that
that
one?
place is good.
Yeah, this is in Disney Springs. If y'all haven't been there, um, just like what would you call it, Sam? Just like
It's a southern style, like southern
yeah,
home style cooking, I think was the
yeah, yeah, Southern home style cooking, like comfort food.
yes,
Um,
comfort food.
yeah, so um, yeah, I had this like this pork dish. It was delicious. And what did you get, Sam? I can't remember. Did you get the
I
fried
had the
chicken?
chicken and waffles, and somebody
That's
at our
right.
table was completely shocked that those two are a combination. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, it was so good.
Was it your dad?
It was either Dad or Taylor. I
I
don't
feel like
remember.
I feel like I've gotten chicken and waffles in front of Taylor before, so I feel like it had to have been your dad.
I don't
But
know.
I
Taylor
don't know.
likes to
Taylor forgets.
Taylor will judge me for anything, so
Yeah.
he was probably just being judgmental. But anyways,
Anyway,
that's what sisters
um,
do. Carry on.
yeah, this restaurant had great service from A to Z. Great food, came out quick and came out hot. It was a great, comfortable atmosphere. Would highly recommend if you're going to Disney Springs.
Most definitely one of their best restaurants. So for me, no, my number four is the San Angel Inn at Epcot in the Mexico Pavilion inside the pyramid. I really hope I got the San Angel Inn right. I often mix up those restaurants, but the big one that's inside, that's right next to the Grand Fiesta Tour track, I've always loved. That's always been like, that's probably going to be one of the most popular restaurants in all of World Showcase. But I just love the atmosphere in there. And if you get a table next to where, the Grand Fiesta Tour comes by, it's so fun to just wave at people, like, just
Just
wave at them
waving
constantly.
goofily.
And they're just kind of looking up at you like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with this person?
No, I agree. It's actually my number three.
Oh, nice. Nice
It's
segue.
on him. Yeah. Um, I love it for all the same reasons you do. Like the ambiance, it's so dark. Oh, just imagining being there right now. Even that kind of the ride, the waves just kind of lapping up against the side of it just creates this really cool atmosphere. I love it.
Funniest memory will always be when Dad Taylor and I were there with Grandma Dorston, and I'm talking to the hostess, and she looks behind me and takes off running, and I just hear a bang. I turn around, and Grandma had lost control of her scooter, didn't take her thumb off the throttle or something, and slammed into it. And she
Oh
goes,
my
"Oh,
god,
this thing went out of control." We're like, Grandma,
grandma!
you need to brake sooner.
Oh my gosh,
I thought for sure she was going to destroy that wall. And there was like a family eating on the other side.
yeah, she's not allowed to use those anymore.
Yeah.
If she wants to go to Disney, she's in a regular wheelchair.
Yeah. That's for the safety of everybody's ankles. Yes. Anyways, my number three is one that you and I checked out last time we were there. Space 220.
Nice.
That had to be probably one of the most immersive experiences at a Disney restaurant. The whole,
Mm,
space elevator, and then you're up there, and it's just like there's astronauts just floating by, and you're looking at Earth, and the trading cards are also really cool. They have non-alcoholic drinks where you get these trading cards. But yeah, that was a really fun restaurant. I'm glad my motion sickness wasn't bad, but the one thing I do remember that was a little weird was I ordered a salad and they brought out this like giant thing of lettuce. It was like, I don't know, like it wasn't all crunched up and everything. It was like
yeah.
it seemed like they just pulled it straight from the garden. I'm like, am I supposed to tear this apart myself?
Yes.
I guess that's a fine dining thing,
Space.
but if you can get this reservation, it's very tough to get, but if you can get it, do it. You will not regret it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was definitely a fun one. My number two is, and this was a tough one between the number one and number two. Just to preface, my number two is the Skipper Canteen in the Magic Kingdom. I always love going there every time we come to Disney World. We didn't have the time to go there last time, but man, I love this one. Like I feel like I've had almost every dish they have, and each and every one of them I would recommend. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look at the menu again, but they also have this beer there. It's the Kungaloosh beer, and it's one of my favorite beers I think I've ever had of all time. I think it's a brown ale, like a spiced brown ale, maybe. Anyway, super good. Love the atmosphere. The waiters telling jokes. There are jokes even in the decor itself. So, gotta have that one in my number two spot.
Dude, I love the dad jokes. Those are great.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even think of any right now. That's the best part is like I can never remember them. So when I go back and they tell them again, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Like
Exactly. It's like
you're
you're pretty
laughing
sure
all
you've
over
heard
again.
this, but it's so funny each time.
Right, right. The same thing with like the attraction itself, like Jungle Cruise.
The only joke that I remember from the ride is the backside of water.
Oh yeah, that's an iconic one.
That's probably like that should be a t-shirt if it's not already. So my number two is the sci-fi dine-in in Hollywood studios. That has always been a place that my family has gone to for years. And I remember about 20 years ago, you could just walk up and we get a table. And then one time we tried to walk up and they said, sorry, you had to book your reservation 6 months ago. And we're all like, really?
Excuse
And of course, now it's 60 days, but yeah, it's heartbreaking to discover that the hard way. But now that I have the resources to get the reservations, uh, sooner rather than right before trying to wait on a walk up and everything.
me.
And now I'm so glad that I can enjoy this every time. And it's the atmosphere is just so much fun. And I know that some of the videos might be outdated, but it's still fun to kind of laugh at them. And it's just like, oh my God, this is what the 50s like. It's funny, but you know, those
Yeah,
cartoons are pretty enjoyable as well.
yeah, and that's why it's my number one for those reasons
Nice.
too. But there's so many good memories here. It's such a great atmosphere. Uh, Even though there's only like two people per bench, and it's not the traditional. You're facing each other while you're eating. You know, um, there's still something that evokes conversation. So I feel like they did a really good job, like with the spacing and but still making it feel like you're in a parked car and watching a film.
I kind of wonder if Disney did that on purpose. So if like, parents are mad at each other, they don't have to look at each other.
Right.
Once sits one,
Like
once
what's in
the
the
other
front?
sits here.
Yeah.
Maybe they were thinking of parents that get angry during Disney vacations when they did that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and they just tell the kid that's sitting in the seat next to them why the other parent is in the wrong.
Anyways, my number one apparently receives internet hate now. Be our guest.
Oh, right.
That's like there there is no restaurant there that has nailed theming better than that one. Or if you're talking about like adapting it from the movie, Be Our Guest is absolutely perfect. And sitting in the West Wing was a really cool experience as well. I remember sitting there trying to get a picture of the painting, changing over. But it's, seeing the Beast as well, getting a picture with him is pretty cool. Apparently, that's really popular on Bumble for anybody who's needs suggestions on good pictures for Bumble. Apparently, a picture with Beast works really well. But anyways, yeah, love this restaurant. Be Our Guest is obviously one of the greatest Disney movies of all time. When I'm not trying new restaurants, I always make sure to eat here.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that place. Magic Kingdom is such good table service restaurants. Besides Tony's Town Square, what's that one? Shoot, what's it called?
I have the map here in a second. Tony's, no, that's the attraction. No, you're right. Tony's Town Square Restaurant.
Yeah, that one needs to go.
Is that like an Italian restaurant or?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but it's really not that great for a table service restaurant. I feel like I'm eating cafeteria food. It's wild, man.
Ew.
Yeah,
It's not
especially
good.
front of the park. I
Hmm. Interesting. I can't recall if I've eaten there or not. If I have, it's been a really long time. It's
yeah,
probably the reason why.
yeah.
Whatever, everything you just described. Well, this has been a fun episode. We recorded a little bit later than we had planned on. My dad and I went and saw Return of the Jedi for its 40th anniversary re-release. If you're a Star Wars fan, you need to go see it in theaters. It's so cool. It's there until May the 3rd. I don't know why the fourth is not, but still, really cool experience to see a Star Wars movie in theaters. So this has
It's
been
not
a
going to
fun
be bad. Star
episode.
Wars Day.
Thank you all for listening in. And next week, we're going to talk about Liberty Square
All
and
right.
things that are could change and most likely won't change in that land. It's been fun. We will see you all in a couple weeks.